no lie. Resonating, vibes in, feeling good. Everything rock vibrating. I am at peace. I am at peace.
Interesting, this, I think. Anyone who wants to see it, that was great last night where you made Steve McQueen's program, but the Mangrove 9 was made in about 1972, 1973, and it has interviews with the original defendants recorded before the final verdicts.
So
and
just for those who haven't seen it, and without
good,
doing a spoiler alert, it is about a place that became very big within the Caribbean community in Notting Hill, a place to eat food, a place to catch up and just jam with your friends, where people where people felt welcomed, and the police didn't necessarily like this, so they kept raiding the place, and then through a series of events, it ends up in a massive court case, 9 of them, and I'll leave it there because people might want to watch it. And I think that doesn't necessarily spoil anything.
But see that area though, that's where when Cochrane got murdered, the carpenter. That's why the Notting Hill Carnival came about. When they had riots in Notting Hill, we mentioned it back in August, but when the London Transport put on extra buses so that if essentially white people could get up there to beat up black people, and they laid on extra buses, and that's in our history. That's not. That's in the 50s. There's a great YouTube documentary about the first black man to work at Euston train station. They just opened a statue in his honour. There was a standing rule that black people couldn't work at Euston.
And
in the 60s.
What I've struggled with over the last, and struggle is probably the kindest way I can put it, is so for example, as you just said then, there's a statue of this dude that's gone up, and I wouldn't know anything about it unless you just said that. And in the last month, I've learned a lot through Black History Month. Now, true, I'm black, but I didn't sit there every night wanting to watch something associated with Black History Month. What I'm saying is I've learned lots during Black History Month, stuff that I wouldn't necessarily known about myself and my own culture, and I found it interesting. But what I struggled with is that would upset people that stuff's even being shown, like as if to say that's racism in showing stuff about one particular community because it's not showing stuff about another community. Whereas, let me just put it this way: number one, it's a month of the year. 1 month of the year. So for the other 11 months, there must be other things going on which are not directed at showing anything about that community, whichever community you want to pick. Do you know what I mean? But the majority of the time, like when I went to school, I didn't learn ever that there was like a black person that had achieved anything. No one taught me that. Yeah. And we all know, okay, look, that didn't hold me back in any way, I'd like to think, because of my parents, and how they kind of pushed me. But generally, I can see how that could affect someone if you never see someone of your of your looking like you that's done something and achieved something. I didn't know that.
But there's also got to be an element of responsibility for you to teach your own, right? And that then means that you have to be, first of all, recognize who your own are. And my issue with that is that it shouldn't be Black History Month. It should be History Month. And every month should have history that includes the history of everybody.
An inclusive history, exactly. So by almost separating it to that month, it does cause a segregation. And this brings me on to, I don't really know enough to talk about it, but this brings me on to a chap name, and I don't want to talk about him too tough, because I don't really want to give my energy towards him. But a chap named Lawrence Fox, who could be considered as saying similar things in that in segregating something, then you're being racist because you're making those people separate.
What I find strange about him is that, he's done well as an actor. He's successful. And he, unfortunately, for me, he speaks and represents a lot of white people, right? And when we spoke about Black Lives Matter thing back in August, I did say to you that my concern was that if this would be, nothing will change, and all it will do is further polarize communities. Because, well, what about White Lives Matter? Now we've got, what about White History Month? It should be about bringing people together. People like Lawrence Fox, as much as I don't agree with anything he says, I understand that he's speaking for a lot of people. Because we live in London, the South East, we forget, you go north of like Birmingham, black people are not that present.
You haven't got to go that far, mate. Where I grew up, black people weren't that present.
Or Kettering.
Big bang in Kettering. It's probably really different now, but like, yeah, there weren't really many black men anywhere.
But
But
there's been
then my point
hang on, what
again.
about the Afro-Caribbean Centre in Kettering? That's been there years. It's been there 40, 50 years.
Well, yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is I knew all the black men, all of
So
them.
there's at least 3 of you.
There's at least 3 of us. There was about 5 or 6
How many do
families.
you need? How many do you need?
How many do you need?
It's a football community. Let's get them. If you've got 1 mouse in the house, you don't go, I've got mice. But if you've got 2 or 3, I've got mice. How many mice do you need? But it is that thing, isn't it? Who's like, his point is, oh, look, because people do, they throw the word right. I mean, I've been called racist dozens of times, more this year than any other time in my life, right? And I'm not going to go, oh my God, I'm offended. You think I'm a racist? I'm like, if you want to think that, man. Judge me by my actions. And there's a couple of people who have got their names on bits of paper here. I'm going to wait a couple more months, then I'm going to contact them and go, for the argument we had back in August when I said Black Lives Matter, nobody cares, mate. They don't care. They'll let you have your little 5 minutes of glory, right? They'll let you blame you for taking down statues, which most of them will take down by white people, right? And then you come to January or February, nothing will have changed other than it will be more polarised.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame.
It's shocking. It's shocking. But what do you do? People like Lawrence Fox and Farage, they just play to the crowd. And the crowd are so stupid they don't even realise. It's not Black History Month. It's our history. There's a letter gone up for sale from Rorke's Drift, right? Where, was it? I don't, if I don't know the numbers right, then put it in the box and pull me up on it. Either 3,000 or it might be 30,000 Zulus took on 144 British soldiers at Rorke's Drift. And the British soldiers managed to kill most of the Zulus. Actually, what we're celebrating there is the massacre of Zulus.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I agree they're outnumbered, 144 against 3,000 or whatever. But guns versus sticks. Who's your money on? You know.
I just can't understand why people would be so angry at the fact that something's being shown to make things more inclusive, so people are learning of other cultures other than just the one demographic that I'd been taught when I was growing up. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'll be honest. I said this in a previous show, man. People would laugh at this because we've got internet and stuff now. But back then, you used to have to go and look in an encyclopedia. You had to go to a friend's house who had an encyclopedia to go and find stuff out, right? And I don't know, man. I never really got wind that people from Egypt would have had darker skin than people who were the headmasters and teachers at my school. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But isn't there an argument then that the Egyptians were actually Greeks and that all the science and everything came from Greece rather than Egypt? Or is the argument that they went from Egypt to Greece?
I'm not sure because I couldn't say anything bad about Greece, man. Like, I couldn't take anything away from Greece. I love Greece.
No, but my point is, right, well, how migration worked, we all left Africa. So for me, they left Africa and went to Greece. But, everyone tries to dilute it, take responsibility, take credit.
Yeah, but I mean, at a point of time, surely, I mean, I don't know how much this falls true and whether people would have been intelligent or not, but like, at a point of time, it was all one landmass, wasn't it? Do you mean?
Pangaea.
So, like...
Pangaea, it was called.
There you go.
But, it's just kind of pure, like I'm playing you Eddie Grant, mate. I'm not going, oh, he's a black man. I was like, it's Eddie Grant. I love the man's music, right? But it's how then, if you just play, like my soul radio, I listen to that all day, every day. The music is 99.9% black artists. I don't care. To me, it's music. It's fantastic. I'm not going out of my way to listen to that. However, I'm like, why would you not listen to this because it's black artists? That's what I don't. That's where I lose it. I'm like, what?
Been on to something a little bit lighter. I was shocked the other day, innit, by something that I noticed my missus was doing, innit. So,
what was she doing?
I walked in.
Was she like this on the app? Oh, go faster.
So, like, she was having a bath, so I popped into the bathroom. This sounds bad, but it's not like that, yeah. So I walked into the bathroom to say hello, like, and she looked at me all guilty in that, and I realised that she was eating a pot noodle. A pot noodle.
In the bath?
In the bath, bruv.
That's wrong.
In the bath. I know, yeah.
That's
like,
wrong.
Actually in the bath.
Eating a pot noodle.
But,
like, was it out of the bowl or she eating it out of the bath? Was she, like, scooping around the bath?
It was kind of... That's disgusting. That's the only way that.
With her hands. Like,
The thing is, she said like, "I've got a face, isn't it? That when I'm disgusted, it's like,
yeah.
yeah, like that, like I can't hide." And yeah, she got the face.
Is there acceptable food to eat in the bath?
I don't know who eats in the bath, man. I mean, would you put it in the comments? Anyone eating in the bath out there?
Your missus. Is it a
Well,
Polish
yeah.
thing? Is it like one of them kind of like
I
they're
don't
like
think it is.
cabbage, aren't they?
I don't think it is. The look wasn't like. I don't know if I was doing something necessarily like Caribbean, then like someone caught me.
The bath.
I wouldn't be
What would
like.
that be exactly? What would it be? Come on, educate me. What would a Caribbean person be doing in the bath that other people wouldn't?
Well, I suppose you could like make a bath, sonically to have like the steel out of steel pan material, and you could have things in the thing, and be banging out a tune on the steel pan bath. That'd be quite
Well,
Caribbean.
yeah. Sometimes we have ideas. They never need to come out. It's like that jumper that you bought. It never needs to.
So that could work. Hours of fun in the bath.
I wouldn't eat in the bath. I might have like a beer in the bath after a long day, I suppose.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know, would you? What you'd do is you'd have the beer on the floor outside the bath, and every now and again, yeah, you'd
You got
reach
one
over.
of them trays, and you got one of them OAP trays.
I haven't, but if you had one of them, maybe you'd have it on that. But you
I've got
wouldn't.
an OAP tray. Listen, I will get Lenny on this. He has his tray, right? Now his solution. He got his. If I ring him after 7 o'clock, he's in the bath, and he goes there. He goes there ready for it. He's got his laptop. He's got his Kindle. He's got his phone. He's got a drink. He's got snacks. The man, that's his office from 7 o'clock. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, I can't. You're sitting there naked in hot water. And you want me to have a conversation with you? He's like, yeah. Echoing around the bath.
Well, I don't know, man. I wouldn't even. I don't know, man. I wouldn't even eat chewing gum in the bath. I just feel like
How long do you sit in the bath?
bath's not for eating. I don't know, man. If it's hot enough, up to an hour. Like,
I hate baths, man. Just shower. Get yourself a shower. She won't eat no pot noodle in the shower. Trust me. Let it go.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure about you. I'm not sure about that. Don't know if I can trust you with that. Anything could happen now.
Sitting in your own dirty water for an hour.
Yeah.
All the dirt gone off your skin.
No, I don't wash until like I'm gonna get out. So I just
Do you have a shower
jam in the
before you
water.
get out?
To have a shower before I get in the bath.
Yeah, to clean off the dirt.
Nah.
Disgusting. You're an animal.
No,
In
because
fact,
I
a
don't-
pair of you are well matched. She's eating her dinner in there, and you're sitting in your rancid, dead skin foliage.
No, because I haven't bathed, I haven't washed at that point. So getting up to 55 minutes just jamming. Yeah. Just jamming,
And then
listening to music.
The last 2
And
minutes,
then-
you frantically wash.
Wash and get out. So you're not laying in your.
And then you're sitting in hot water, man, cooking. You're just cooking in hot water.
Yeah, for real. Sometimes the best part is when you come out and you look a bit lightheaded in that because it's too hot.
You've been in it 3 days.
It's like they used to have steam baths, didn't they? They used to put coal, not steam baths, they used to put coal to heat the water under the bath. So
In Kettering.
No, maybe, I don't know.
Not in my lifetime, mate. No, we always had a tap. Right? Maybe I was middle class after all.
I didn't realise, yeah, that because I said to my Scottish friend the other day, he was talking about, here's an old Glaswegian joke. The guy who goes to the bar, he asks for a lager with a dash of lemonade in it, and the barman says, no, we don't do cocktails. Right? And I was thinking, there's certain drinks that you could order in the Caribbean, and I can imagine the waiter just cutting his eyes at you and just like not even serving you. And this guy was like, what does cut your eyes mean? I was like, when someone cuts their eyes at you. He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, obviously I couldn't explain it to him, so I was like, obviously like squint a little bit, look away, like disgustedly.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was a Caribbean phrase until I looked it up and it said it was a Caribbean phrase.
Yes,
Really?
to look rudely at a person and turn one's face away sharply when closing one's eyes.
There you go. But lots of places do that, yeah. Lots of like English people do that. Everyone does that. Like,
Yeah.
But what do they call it then? If they don't call it to cut your eyes.
I think this one of them words. It's like people don't know what chups is.
What is that?
When you
What did you call that now?
chups.
What?
Yeah. It's not even Black History Month, mate. I'm teaching you. Can you believe it?
Who did you call? Who calls it that? Who calls it that?
That's what it is.
Who calls it that, bro?
You've got it. That is the biggest Caribbean influence in the UK since 1945. It's not Bob Marley. It's not jerk chicken. It's
Oh, mate. Do you know what? Yeah, you calling that Chups? It's got to be the best place to finish this. I've never been more happy to hear something in my life. I don't know anyone in the world that calls it that other than you. By the way,
get it in the box, mate.
I've never heard that before.
Inundated.
I mean, kiss your teeth, but like Chups. Like,
Chups.
do you know anyone else that says that?
No, not anyway.
Oh, do you know what, mate? I'm going to have to leave that.
So, before you go,
Yes.
you're just going to play with your lights one more time on your Hive so we can all be impressed with Jonathan technology. All the people who see kits are going, he's a wizard. He's got a magic box.
So, off. Obviously, these side lights aren't on the Hive.
Look at that magic.
And then on. So they go back on. Ooh, there you go.
Technology, mate.
Check the tech. Anyway, I don't know, man. Chups. I'm gonna have to get like a T-shirt that says it.
It's Chups.
Chups, like what? Like Chuppa Chups with two U's. Or,
Chuppa Chaps. Chups.
Or how would you spell that?
Anyway, you want?
I'm
It's your choice.
I'm too interested now. I'm too interested.
Hang on, let me have a look.
It's not a word. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Let me have a look how you spell this made-up word that I've just made up.
Kiss teeth.
No, it doesn't say that.
Yeah. The meaning of kiss teeth. We examine an everyday Caribbean oral gesture, kiss teeth. Chups names the sound and action that produces it.
You are
Chups
joking. Right.
is fake. That's
I'll
fake.
put my hand up and say I do not believe you, but I'll put it in the comments if he's telling the truth. And if not, I'm going to gun you about this in the next show.
I'm appropriating your culture. That's what I'm doing.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that the word chups was
I'm trying to
associated.
drag you back to your roots, mate. That's what I'm doing. You need to get yourself a onesie, get rid of that Hive nonsense, get back to your roots. Don't put the heating on until 6 o'clock.
Put a jumper on.
Go and put some plastic down on the carpet in the front room, and just get back to your
Plastic
get back to your
sofa and the remote control. Right.
vacuum wrap it. Go on, get out.
He's John Ryan,
I am John Ryan. He's Jonathan Prince.
and together we are
Brutally
Brutally
Johnest.
Johnest. Big up, peeps. We will catch you soon. Chup, super chup.
We don't know no lie. Resonating, vibes in